Well, it's a season finale and everybody comes together for a great time. Hey, my name is Rex and it's time for the final episode of ReZero. I really enjoyed it. It was just really nice after last episode being left in tears to just kind of smile throughout basically this whole episode as we pick up with Subaru and Beatrice now arriving at the sanctuary right outside of the grave to defeat all those rabbits. And it seems like finally we're gonna get them taken care of once and for all, which good, because I hate those rabbits so much. And now it's a little, I guess there's a little more clarification as, yes, there is a contract now between Beatrice and Subaru, as of course Beatrice is a spirit. So now it's seeming like they're going to be all together at least. And I do like that, as you know, Beatrice is basically going to be the one to get rid of them, with everyone's help at least. She's obviously a big factor, very powerful, and going to be able to help defeat these rabbits. I like that when Subaru asks her, is there anything I can do? She says, just keep holding my hand and don't leave me alone. Which, again, building off the last episode, yes, makes sense. But I really like that, now finally taking care of these rabbits are working together. And it's, I guess, Beatrice kind of teaches Subaru a new spell to use as they're, firing these gem arrows at the rabbits, basically. And I like that, they're able to work together and they stick together. And they take care of them all just very well, very effectively. Amelia, of course, helping as well. And I don't know why this part didn't occur to me, but I guess basically just rounding them up and sending them somewhere else with, what Beatrice is able to do. That'll basically get rid of them, or at least if there's the maximum number of them, if they're all gone. So seemingly they're taken care of at least. And just a nice moment as well afterwards between Subaru and Beatrice, as he's basically treating her like his daughter, I guess, his little kid, but just real nice, real wholesome vibes. I do also like that now we kind of also see what's going on with Roswell. Ram is still alive, thankfully, and now Roswell, I guess that's kind of woken him up a little more, because in the 2 episodes ago, he was just completely, or was that last episode actually, regardless, he was just completely broken. And the fact that he had lost his gospel, and the fact that he had hurt Ram, who was someone that he cared about, that shook him out of everything. So now he's able to come together with Beatrice, who I wonder how much they talk to each other, because overall, we did learn that they didn't talk to each other a whole lot. But now seeing both of them actually able to enter the grave and see where Echidna is not buried but laid to rest. I think that was a nice moment, especially now that we know the backstory between them, and we know the history that they have, effectively kind of being siblings almost, or, basically family. And, just this whole reunion is really nice as well. And then getting to see just everyone else interact and come together. And I think, it's all nicely tied together, in this episode. I got a little too much satisfaction out of seeing everyone beat up Roswell, as I guess this was something that he intended to do, or something that he had volunteered for, I guess, as his way of kind of atoning for everything that he did. Like I said, it was a little too satisfying seeing everyone beating him up, letting him have it for a bit. He's even all just, his face is just messed up. But, rightfully so, everybody's kind of skeptical about him still sticking around, basically being alive after everything that he did, how much he hurt everybody. But he's just so, what's the word, pacified, basically. He's not angry at it. He's not even really speaking with the same kind of flair that he used to hate. You could tell he's just done. He's done messing around. And I do think that, yes, it made sense for everybody to not want to trust him immediately, because, they're still going to end up working with him, still going to have him sticking around, because, he's important. He's needed to endorse Amelia for the whole royal selection thing. Basically, a good amount of them were employed under him, with all the maids, Frederica, Petra, and then, of course, Ram and Rem, even though Rem is asleep. I like that also in this scene, Rem is just still laying down in the background, because they're all facing Roswell, talking with him, and then you can see Rem just chilling out in the background. Sad though, we get no Rem in season 2, but I think, it's a little funny seeing her all sleepy. But one thing I do like is that Amelia, with how she is, she asked for an apology, right? Even after Roswaal is kind of proving to himself, is like, hey, if I go back on my word, I've got a seal on my chest and I'm going to die. It's going to kill me, basically. And, with everything he's done with, swearing on all this and that and saying that he's going to do better and that, all that, really what Amelia had wanted was an apology, basically. Just him kind of, I guess, coming out and saying, I'm sorry. And he does apologize. And so I kind of like that now. Roswaal is probably, it's seeming like is going to be with them. He's still got his own goals, even afterwards, when he talks to Subaru, he's saying, my goal is still to reunite with my teacher, still to reunite with Echidna. He's not going to hurt anybody, at least them. He's not going to go back on his promise to them, but he's still going to find a way to reunite with her. And kind of in the same way, when he's relaying this to Subaru, kind of in the same way how Subaru isn't giving up on, quote, putting back the pieces of what had been broken, and that's something Subaru is still working toward, because, that's kind of like the last little missing piece is Rem still being comatose. While he was able to basically, save everybody for the most part, there's still Rem, so there's still more to do, obviously. I love how much of how much finality this episode had for season 2, because, this was a big season that, full, it was a full season, basically, and how much finality this episode had, but of course there's still more afterwards. And so there's going to be quite a bit to look forward to. But, we also get the ceremony with Subaru officially being knighted. And this is something also kind of nice to see, because he's basically earned it at this point. Way back in season 1, he was really kind of self-entitled also. There's a lot of him being still a little arrogant, kind of greedy, but almost in a good way throughout season 2. Because, he's able to use that to help everybody. But in season 1, he was a huge brat with how he wanted to be a knight for Amelia, basically no ultimate number 1 simp. But now he deserves it, basically. He's kind of earned it just in how he's changed and how he's grown. And now he's been able to help everybody else, and how they're all also able to come together and help each other now. It's also nice. So now we end with this little party, and it's real sweet. Seeing Rem and Ram together is also nice, even though, Rem's in the wheelchair. And supposedly, very obviously, Ram still doesn't know who Rem is. Just was being told that, hey, this is your sister, care for her. So I guess seeing them together is nice, even though it's still not completely fixed between them. But I just had a nice time with this episode. Again, very, very actiony in the beginning, and the very quick beginning bit where they take care of all the rabbits. Really, I guess that was sort of all you needed. But just having all this extra little big sigh of relief that you can breathe, and seeing everybody happy for the time being was just really nice. But I enjoyed it. Overall, season 2 is great, and I'm really glad to have discussed season 2 here on the channel. Glad you could all join me as well. There was no announcement for a season 3 at the end of this episode, which is something that's been happening for a lot of other anime recently, in terms of when the season ends, they're like, hey, guess what, next season's in production. But with how big ReZero is, how popular it is, I would definitely expect another season to be coming out. We just need an announcement, 100% there's going to be a season 3 eventually. How long that's going to be, who knows? There was 5 years between season 1 and season 2, which was huge. But season ReZero as a whole is still just a huge property, a huge franchise, especially in terms of merchandising. So very obviously they're going to pick things up with season 3, especially, if we, I guess, kind of support it with our views and everything else. But I might attempt to read ahead. I don't want to say that set anything in stone, but maybe I'll try to read ahead a little bit, just because I'm kind of itching for more. But let me know what you think. Did you enjoy the season? What about this episode? This episode, like I said, I think was very nice. Wasn't very deep or heavy as everything else, but it was just really, really what we needed after all the pain and suffering that everyone endured throughout this season. But let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe to show your support. You can stick around for more anime discussions as we're moving on to the next season. And if you'd like to enable notifications, you can do that by clicking that bell icon next to the subscribe button. Anyway, that's been Rex. Have a nice day.